hidden treasures can emerge from the most unexpected places, even from that loose change jingling in your pocket right now. The 1968 Washington quarter might look ordinary at first glance, but some examples of this fascinating coin have sold for jaw-dropping amounts reaching thousands of dollars. Today, we're diving deep into the world of one of America's most intriguing coins, and I'll show you exactly what makes certain 1968 quarters worth a small fortune. In the turbulent year of 1968, as America faced social upheaval and cultural transformation, the United States Mint was busy producing millions of quarters. But amidst the massive production runs, something extraordinary happened. Rare minting errors occurred that would later turn these humble 25-cent pieces into highly sought-after collector's items worth hundreds, thousands, or even tens of thousands of dollars. The story of the 1968 quarter begins with a significant change in American coinage. Just 4 years earlier, the U.S. Mint had stopped using silver in circulating quarters, switching to a copper-nickel-clad composition. This transition period led to fascinating variations and errors that coin collectors dream of discovering. The most valuable of these errors have sold for astronomical sums that would shock even seasoned numismatists. Let's start by examining what makes a normal 1968 quarter. On the obverse, you'll find John Flanagan's iconic portrait of George Washington, a design that has graced the quarter since 1932. The reverse showcases a majestic eagle with spread wings, clutching olive branches, symbols of American strength and peace. But it's the imperfections, the mistakes, and the rarities that transform these ordinary coins into extraordinary treasures. 3 different mints produced quarters in 1968, Philadelphia, which struck coins without a mint mark, Denver, which used the D mint mark, and San Francisco, which produced proof coins bearing the S mark. The Philadelphia Mint alone produced over 220 million quarters, while Denver contributed another 101 million. San Francisco focused on roughly 3 million proof coins for collectors. But here's where it gets interesting: among these millions of coins, some incredible errors occurred that can make your pocket change worth a fortune. The most valuable error from 1968 is the double die obverse, or DDO. This occurred when the die used to strike the coin received a misaligned double impression during its creation. The result? Distinct doubling visible in the lettering and design elements, particularly in the word "liberty" and the phrase, "In God We Trust." If you find a 1968 quarter with this error in uncirculated condition, you're looking at a coin worth potentially thousands of dollars. Some exceptional examples have sold for over $10,000 at auction, but that's just the beginning. Another extraordinary error is the off-center strike. This happens when the coin blank isn't properly centered during the striking process. The more dramatic the off-center strike, the more valuable the coin becomes. A 1968 quarter struck 50% off-center in high grade could fetch several $1,000s from an eager collector. Even minor off-center strikes of 5 to 10% can bring hundreds of dollars in the right condition. One of the rarest and most valuable errors from 1968 is the no mint mark proof error. Proof coins were specially made at the San Francisco Mint and should always show an S mint mark. But in a few incredible instances, proof quarters were struck without the mint mark. These coins are so rare that when they appear at auction, they can command prices exceeding $5,000. Some specialists believe fewer than 100 examples exist, making them true numismatic treasures. But wait, there's more. Have you ever seen a quarter with a chunk missing from the edge? This is called a clipped planchet error, occurring when the blank wasn't properly cut from the metal strip. While more common than some other errors, a dramatic clip on a 1968 quarter in high grade can still bring $150 to $300. Multiple clips on the same coin can drive the value even higher. Die cracks and die breaks create another category of valuable errors. As the dies used to strike coins wore down, they sometimes developed cracks that transferred their pattern onto the coins. Major die breaks, especially those that create dramatic raised lines across important design elements, can turn a normal quarter into a $500 plus coin. The more spectacular the break, the higher the value. Let's talk about condition, because when it comes to coin collecting, grade is everything. A 1968 quarter in average circulated condition might be worth its face value of 25 cents. But find one in pristine, uncirculated condition, and you're looking at a different story entirely. The finest examples, graded MS 67 or higher on the Sheldon scale, can bring hundreds or even thousands of dollars, even without errors. For those interested in starting their own collection, you'll need the right tools. A good magnifying glass or USB microscope is essential for spotting these valuable errors. You'll want to examine the lettering carefully, looking for any signs of doubling. Check the mint mark area for oddities. Inspect the edges for clips or unusual shapes. Every detail matters when you're hunting for these rare variants. The market for error coins continues to grow, with serious collectors willing to pay premium prices for the best examples. Recent auction results show strong upward trends in values, particularly for the rarest errors. A 1968 double die quarter that sold for $2,000 5 years ago might bring $5,000 or more today. The key is authentication. Having your valuable finds certified by a professional grading service can dramatically increase their market value. Proper preservation is crucial if you discover a valuable 1968 quarter. Never clean your coins, this can actually decrease their value significantly. Instead, handle them carefully by their edges and store them in appropriate holders. For the most valuable pieces, consider professional conservation and storage solutions. Here's a fascinating tidbit that many don't know: the 1968 quarter holds special significance in American numismatic history. It represents a transitional period in U.S. coinage, when the mint was still adapting to new manufacturing processes following the removal of silver from circulating coins. This historical context adds another layer of interest for collectors and can increase values for particularly well-preserved examples. As we wrap up our exploration of the 1968 quarter, remember this: extraordinary finds can happen to anyone. Whether you're a serious collector or just someone who enjoys checking their change, keeping an eye out for these valuable variants could lead to an incredible discovery. The next time you receive change from a purchase, take a moment to examine those quarters carefully. You never know, that simple act of looking closely at your coins could lead to finding a rare error worth thousands of dollars. The world of coin collecting is full of surprises, and the 1968 quarter represents one of the most fascinating chapters in American numismatics. So check your coin jars, search through your loose change, and examine those old coins in your drawer. Your next handful of change could contain a coin worth far more than you ever imagined. We're going to uncover the fascinating world of the 1979 quarter, including the ultra-rare minting errors that make certain varieties worth astronomical sums. But before you check your pocket change, you'll need to know exactly what to look for, because the difference between a regular quarter and a six-figure coin can be smaller than the width of a human hair. The story begins in 1979. During one of the most turbulent economic periods in American history. With inflation soaring and precious metal prices reaching record highs, the U.S. Mint was under immense pressure to produce coins rapidly. This rush to meet demand led to some of the most valuable minting errors ever discovered on modern American coinage. Now, you might be wondering why a coin from 1979 could be worth so much. The answer lies in the perfect storm of circumstances that created these rare varieties. 3 different mints, Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco, were working overtime to produce quarters. But it's what happened inside these facilities that created numismatic history. Let's start with the most valuable error of all, the elusive double die variety. When the die used to strike these quarters was created, a microscopic misalignment occurred. This resulted in a subtle doubling of the letters and numbers on certain coins. But here's what makes this particular error so extraordinary: unlike other double dies from this era, the 1979 version shows doubling on both the obverse and reverse, creating what collectors call a perfect storm error. If you're holding a 1979 quarter right now, look closely at Washington's profile. Do you see any shadowing around the letters Liberty or the date? This could be your first clue that you've discovered something exceptional. But don't get too excited yet, because authentication is crucial. A genuine double die error from 1979 in mint state condition has sold for as much as $150,000 at auction, but that's not the only error that could make your quarter worth a fortune. Perhaps even more valuable are the off-center strikes. During the minting process, if the planchet, that's the blank metal disc that becomes a coin, isn't perfectly centered when struck, it creates a dramatically misshapen coin. The most valuable off-center strikes are those that retain the full date while showing a significant portion of blank planchet. A 1979 quarter with a 50% off-center strike in mint state condition recently sold for over $200,000. Now, let me tell you about something truly extraordinary, the mule error. This occurs when a coin is struck with dies that were never meant to be paired together. In 1979, a handful of quarters were accidentally struck using a dime reverse die. These incredibly rare, quarter-dime mules, are among the most valuable modern American coins, with one example selling for nearly $500,000, but here's where it gets really interesting. Recent studies suggest that there might be even more undiscovered varieties out there. The high-speed production methods used in 1979 created perfect conditions for what numismatists call transitional errors, coins struck with dies from different years or denominations. These could be worth even more than the known varieties, potentially pushing values into the seven-figure range. Let's talk about how to identify these valuable variations. You'll need three essential tools: a good magnifying glass, at least 10x power, proper lighting, and most importantly, patience. Start by examining the date. Look for any signs of doubling, particularly in the numbers 1979. Then, check the mint mark, or lack thereof. Philadelphia quarters have no mint mark, Denver shows a D, and San Francisco displays an S. But here's the crucial detail many collectors miss: the type of mint mark can dramatically affect value. San Francisco produced two distinct varieties in 1979, the Type 1 and Type 2 mint marks. The Type 2, with its slightly larger and more refined S, is considerably rarer and more valuable. In mint state condition, a Type 2 with even minor doubling can command prices exceeding $75,000. The condition of your coin is paramount. Professional grading services use a 70-point scale, with 70 being absolute perfection. A 1979 quarter grading MS 65, mint state 65, or higher with any significant error could be worth tens or even hundreds of thousands of dollars. But even coins with slight wear can be valuable if they display the right error characteristics. Now, let me share something that most collectors don't know about the 1979 quarter. The composition of these coins, 75% copper and 25% nickel, can actually help authenticate valuable errors. Under proper magnification, genuine errors will show specific metal flow patterns that counterfeiters simply can't replicate. This is particularly important because as values have skyrocketed, the market has been flooded with sophisticated fakes. If you think you found a valuable 1979 quarter, here's what you need to do. First, document your find with high-resolution photographs. Next, resist the urge to clean or handle the coin excessively. Even fingerprints can significantly reduce value. Then, consider having it authenticated by a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC. These organizations can confirm authenticity and provide a protective holder that preserves your coin's condition. The market for rare 1979 quarters continues to strengthen. Just last year, a previously unknown error variety, showing dramatic die cracks and what collectors call a retained cud, sold for over $300,000 at auction. This discovery proves that even after more than 4 decades, this remarkable coin still holds secrets waiting to be uncovered. Remember, the key to finding these valuable treasures is knowledge and patience. Take your time examining your coins, paying special attention to any unusual features or irregularities. And don't forget, while the most valuable examples may be worth hundreds of thousands of dollars, even lesser errors from 1979 can command impressive prices in today's market. As we wrap up today's exploration of the 1979 quarter, consider this: somewhere out there, perhaps in an old coin jar or forgotten piggy bank, the next six-figure coin is waiting to be discovered. Could it be in your possession? The only way to find out is to start looking. The 1980 quarter, a seemingly ordinary coin that could be hiding extraordinary value in plain sight. A single quarter from that year recently sold for over $75,000 at auction, leaving collectors and casual observers stunned. But what makes this particular coin so special, and could you be holding one of these valuable treasures in your pocket right now? Let's explore the fascinating world of the 1980 quarter, revealing the incredible errors and variations that can turn pocket change into a fortune. We'll show you exactly what to look for, how to spot these valuable variations, and most importantly, how to determine if your quarters might be worth thousands or even hundreds of thousands of dollars. The story of the 1980 quarter begins during a pivotal time in American history. As the nation grappled with economic challenges and soaring inflation, the U.S. Mint was working overtime to meet the growing demand for circulation coins. This increased production pressure led to some of the most spectacular minting errors ever documented on American coinage. The 1980 quarter was minted in 3 locations: Philadelphia, which produced coins without a mint mark; Denver, marked with a D; and San Francisco, marked with an S. But here's where things get interesting. The rushed production and worn dies led to an unprecedented number of valuable errors that coin collectors are still discovering today. Let's start with the most valuable error known on the 1980 quarter, the dramatic off-center strike. Imagine a quarter where George Washington's portrait is literally sliding off the edge of the coin. These off-center strikes can range from slight misalignments to extreme cases where nearly half the design is missing. A recent discovery of a 50% off-center 1980 D quarter in pristine condition sold for an astounding $128,000 at a specialized coin auction, but that's just the beginning. One of the most sought-after variations is the elusive double die error. This occurs when the die used to strike the coin receives multiple impressions at slightly different angles during its creation. On the 1980 quarter, this creates a distinctive doubling effect, particularly visible in the letters of Liberty and in Washington's hair details. A certified double die 1980 quarter in mint state condition recently changed hands for $85,000. Now, let's talk about something truly spectacular: the struck-through error. This happens when a foreign object gets caught between the die and the planchet during striking. We've seen 1980 quarters struck through fabric, creating a ghostly textile pattern on the surface, and even more remarkably, quarters struck through metal fragments, leaving unique and unrepeatable patterns. These pieces are so rare that when they do surface, they often command prices exceeding $50,000. But here's what makes this even more exciting: these valuable errors aren't just found in pristine, uncirculated conditions. Even circulated 1980 quarters with significant errors can be worth thousands of dollars. A worn quarter with a major die crack or cud, where a piece of the die has broken away, can still fetch $5,000 to $10,000 in today's market. Let's dive deeper into how to identify these valuable variations. First, you'll want to examine the mint mark area. In 1980, some quarters were struck with doubled mint marks, or even more incredibly, with mint marks in the wrong position. These mint mark anomalies can multiply the value of an otherwise ordinary quarter by hundreds or even thousands of times. When examining your 1980 quarter, pay special attention to the edge. A perfect quarter should have crisp, even reading, those little ridges around the circumference. But some 1980 quarters show dramatic errors in this area. The most valuable is the double-struck error, where the coin received multiple strikes, creating a bizarre pattern of overlapping designs. One such piece, discovered in a roll of quarters just last year, sold for $43,000. Here's something most people don't know: the 1980 quarter had variations in its metal composition. While most were struck on the standard copper-nickel planchets, some incredibly rare specimens were accidentally struck on silver planchets left over from previous years. These wrong planchet errors are among the most valuable, with recent sales exceeding $150,000 for certified examples. Let's talk about preservation. If you think you have a valuable 1980 quarter, proper handling is crucial. Never clean the coin, this can dramatically reduce its value. Instead, handle it only by the edges and store it in a proper coin holder. Even a moderately valuable error coin can lose thousands of dollars in value if improperly cleaned or stored. The investment potential of these error coins is staggering. Over the past decade, prices for significant 1980 quarter errors have increased by an average of 300%. Some of the rarest variations have seen even more dramatic appreciation, with certain pieces increasing in value by over 1,000% in just a few years. But here's the most exciting part: new varieties of 1980 quarter errors are still being discovered today. Just last month, a collector found a previously unknown die crack pattern that experts estimate could be worth over $200,000. This means that the next major discovery could be sitting in your change jar right now. So, how do you find these valuable quarters? Start by examining every 1980 quarter you come across. Use a magnifying glass to look for doubling in the letters and numbers. Check for any unusual marks, patterns, or misalignments. Pay special attention to the mint mark area and the edges. Even slight abnormalities could indicate a valuable error. When in doubt, seek professional authentication. The leading coin grading services can verify your find and provide documentation that can significantly increase its value. A certified 1980 quarter with a major error will always command a premium price in the collector market. Remember, patience and attention to detail are key. While not every 1980 quarter will be worth a fortune, the potential reward for finding a significant error coin makes the search worthwhile. Keep in mind that even minor errors can make a quarter worth hundreds or thousands of dollars. As we wrap up, consider this: somewhere out there, perhaps in an old coin jar or a forgotten piggy bank, sits another undiscovered 1980 quarter worth tens or hundreds of thousands of dollars. The next great find could be yours. Check your change, search through old collections, and maybe you'll be the next person to discover one of these incredible numismatic treasures. Thank you for joining us on this journey through the fascinating world of the 1980 quarter. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more videos about valuable coins hiding in plain sight. And please share your own coin hunting stories in the comments below. Until next time, happy hunting, and remember, that quarter in your pocket might be worth more than you think.